Well, welcome back to the Short Porch, baby. That's right, the Short Porch. Appreciate everybody who is making their return to the porch. Yankee Stadium, Short Porch, and right, am I right? That's come into play a couple of times so far in this postseason. Just a heads up today, we got our guy, Talor Meyer, going to be joining us here momentarily to kind of talk through his so rare days, whether it's this postseason run, how he did this year, maybe what the offseason is going to look like. I'll take you through some of my lineups and we'll get cooking. Just want to say too, like for those that missed it last week we did a little NBA action on Friday, I think it was last week, to get excited for the new upcoming season. I can tell you too, I believe it is going to be Monday the 13th. I think Monday the 13th we'll be back at it doing some NBA stuff. So get excited for that. We'll continue to do the baseball content through the postseason as long as it warrants it. I know as we get deeper into the postseason, like when we're down to, just like the ALCS and the NLCS, I don't know if we need to be grinding out every week, but we'll see. We'll see what the people want. We'll see how it goes. Let's get into it. We've got what do we got going on right now? Tigers up 1-0 here off a little, was it Kerry Bonds in an RBI single, I think maybe, or double, something like that. So we get the Tigers up 1-0. There, that's for you international folk there. Threw a little nil in there. We've got Cubs and Pads. Cubs and Padres. That's gonna just Cubs and Pads. Cubs and Padres. That's gonna be what's that? 5 o'clock, I think. And then the nightcap, Celtics. Jesus, Red Sox and Yankees. So a lot of fun elimination stuff. But let's go. We've got our guest. I think first time. No, I feel like you've been on the show before, right? Talor, have you been on before? Have you been on stream before?
I think first time we did the NBA Creator Cup last year.
Oh, that's right, the Creator Cup. That's right. Bring back the Creator Cup, John. We're ready for it. Talor, what's going on, man? How is first round? First round here. Oh, I'm just realizing I got the NBA stuff in the background. Sorry, guys. But just realize, how is your first go round here in the Chase? How are our lineups looking?
We're looking good. I basically did the same thing in both rare and limited. And I haven't checked since the first game started, but I was sitting 6th and 27th, respectively, for each of those competitions. So
6th in limited or rare?
6th is rare and 27th in limited.
Okay, all right. Let's I'll share my screen because I've got a lineup that's doing okay. I think we have an opportunity to do some fun. I want to give Jump Shoot some love too, because in the limited, I believe his squad. Let me look at this quickly. Is in good shape. It is in second place right now. He threw Scooble and Yamamoto in the flex. He had Vest there in reliever, so maybe he gets some relieving love today. Had Otani and Betts and Teoscar, who went yard last night. So that he's done with his Doyers, and then Manny Machado's still going. So that's an 18th. But let me I'll share what I've got going right now.
I don't think you're going to like my team. I need a David Bednar save, so you're not going to enjoy that.
No, thank you. No, thank you, David Bednar. I actually was pretty confident. Did you watch that game last night?
Oh, yeah.
So I and if you've watched my other content, I brought this up this morning, but I had a 40 and over basketball game last night, and I live in New York, and the game ended around like 8, I think a little after 8, and I just like went to a bar that was like right across from where the gym was to watch the game, which was really funny because it was like Lower East Side, so like sexy New York energy. And I'm in there just disgusting, like just so that couldn't have been grosser, just post basketball game. But I'm kind of watching by myself in the corner. So Rafaela off the bat, I thought that was gone.
Same.
Especially because it was right field. There was pop on it. I was like, I think that's going to carry. I stood up too. I was like, oh shit. I thought for sure they had it. But anyways, this is the squad I got rolling with right now. It's sitting in 91st, but still some room to run. So, oops, I did not mean to click Schoolble's name. But anyways, we had Schoolble with the 49, Crochet with the 46. So I need the Chapman save. on the other side. Judge has been pretty bad. Trevor Story went yard last night. Machado, who's been striking out every single time except for that one time he hit a home run yesterday. It feels like every time he gains points, he loses 2 more after a couple of Ks. And then Tatis here.
Too, though.
Say that again?
That was like Shohei, too. I mean,
yeah,
Shohei hit 2 home runs and then struck out 3 times the first game. So
yeah.
That's the beauty of so rare.
It's been kind of fun seeing it. Like I kind of assumed these home teams were going to roll a little bit. I was surprised to see this get to 3 games for a lot of these series. So I'm curious to see how much movement they have, because I imagine a lot of teams with Dodgers right now are towards the top just because of the Ohtani bombs. Mookie, who was just hasn't hit a home run, I don't think, but was involved in like every scoring play last night, it felt like. So curious to see, like, do you think we see a ton of movement here today with these 3 games, or I don't know where you at?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be some movement. I don't think there's going to be a lot of pitchers used, obviously, unless you're a reliever. The Dodgers series just had so many runs in general. Like, it's going to be tough to catch up with that. But those top teams are still going to have the Judges, the Machados. Like, I have Tatis still going. So like, if one of those guys has a big game, there'll be some movement. But no one's going to catch like a Teoscar Hernandez. Like,
right, the 51, just crazy. Yeah, I was looking at it, and I think obviously a Chapman save would be pretty helpful, but my biggest bet for this series, like Judge has 9, but I imagine a ton of people have Judge in front of me, so that's not super helpful. But like a Trevor Story home run, I think could go a long way. And then anything in this Padres series, it's been kind of interesting. I would have guessed. I expected lots of runs in Dodgers Reds. But if I had to pick a second series that I thought was going to pop off, I thought it would have been Cubs and Padres. And I don't know if it's just been like the slight 10 to 12 mile an hour wind blowing in Wrigley Field or what, but the bat, because it's not like they were lights out. Like Dylan Cease historically just gets absolutely bombed in the postseason, and he looked good. Didn't even let him pitch too long. But I don't know. I kind of expected more runs in that series.
Yeah, especially with those starters going. I know when you get to the Padres bullpen, you kind of assume it's going to get shut down, but I think I bet the over in both of those games and was disappointed quickly.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And like the Padres are getting some guys on base, but just like couldn't get the big hit again outside of that Manny bomb yesterday. Yeah. Do you have any takes for the games tonight? Do you I'm assuming.
Well, I thought the Padres, like that's my pick for the World Series is Padres, and so their starting pitcher did better than I anticipated. But I just kind of been back in that bullpen, and so like I'm kind of hoping they go a little deeper.
Yeah.
But I mean, one game, anything can happen. I think I have no idea, honestly. I think the Padres probably win, but I'm not gonna like stick my leg out on that.
It's so funny, man, because if you told me 2 years ago it was you, Darvish versus Tyon, I would be like, yeah, of course the Padres are going to take this. But no one likes to throw 110 pitches through 4.5 innings like you, Darvish, man. That dude, like, he still might rack up 8 Ks in those 4 innings, but the pitch count on that dude just skyrockets. But the Cubs can't hit right now. Like, it's all their outside of Suzuki, who's been a home run machine down the stretch, and like Nico Horner, who's been awesome. Like Tucker, like PCA hasn't gotten a hit since March, I don't think. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I think I would lean Padres too. And then what about Red Sox Yanks? How are we feel? Oh yeah, let's just shout out JT Chelsea here in the chat saying Miller 8 Ks in relief. Miller came in and threw like 140 miles an hour last night or yesterday afternoon.
It's pretty incredible to have a single pitch kind of just collectively be online as potentially the best pitch anybody's ever seen.
Yeah.
104.5 dotted, like
just gas.
He's insane. And he's not even the closer. Like that's how good that is.
I know that was pretty nuts to see. I'll be honest, I wasn't following the Padres super closely outside of like what Tatis was doing early in the season. And so when Miller got traded, I think I probably even messaged you. I was like, oh, hell yeah, that's so many more saves now for Miller, who hasn't gotten an opportunity to pitch in Sacramento. And you're like, no, he still probably won't be the closer. Yep. It's just crazy. What about Sox Yankees? How are you feeling about that tonight with Schitler's list versus Early? Which does Schitler have a card on So Rare?
I think they maybe like they've done some new like postseason specific movements, but I haven't checked specifically.
Okay, actually, I can do that while we're talking. How are you feeling about that game?
It's such a wild card because you just have no idea what Early's going to come out with. Like he's pitched on the road twice in his career at the major league level, and both of them were in minor league ballparks. They were at the Rays and the A's, and so this is a whole new environment for him. So you just have no idea what's going to pop up there.
Yeah.
Like again, my Sorare fandom probably wants Yankees because I have Judge and Bednar. My actual fandom, I'd rather have the Red Sox keep going. But I honestly have no idea with that game.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I have zero confidence in either of these teams right now. It seemed like that game last night, it was like who was going to screw up first. That's what it felt like watching it anyways. Like I even, what's his name? Was it Cruz who had that insane celebration? And I'm not a hater on celebrations. Like I think, like lean into it. It was really funny though to just see an absolute rifle of a hit that got caught like 380 feet into the outfield, and then to lose it like that really made me laugh. But that's where that series is at. Is like that is considered a W. That out right there.
Yeah, that Cruz. That's just I think him. He is full of personality, and I think as a fan watching it from home, every single hit into the outfield, it feels like it could go out in that ball.
Yeah.
And the way that the fans react, like you just don't know.
Yeah, I know. Again, I really thought that Raffy hit was out. I've just decided that since Rafael Devers is not there anymore, I'm calling Rafael a Raffy. I hope that's fine with Red Sox Nation. So all right, so those games are tonight, and then when do we lock again next? Is it Saturday. On Friday? Is that what you said?
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay.
Yep. Which I'm not sure why they did that, but just in case every game goes deep, they give them an extra day of travel, but.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Although you'd almost, if you're the Blue Jays and the Phillies, you probably are like, hey, and the Brewers and who else am I forgetting? The Mariners. You're like, hey, we earned this day off. So what is your like approach here? I guess like when you were building lineups this first round, how many of these special edition cards did you go out and get? Because I know there's been a lot of like back and forth of how we approached it based on like what the prize pool was, all that stuff. I don't know. How did you approach getting those special editions?
I mean, I'm really taking it round by round. I tried to target guys that I thought would advance. So in rare, I went and got Mookie because I didn't have a rare Mookie card yet. And obviously, I think the Dodgers are pretty good and have a chance.
Yeah, especially with that first round matchup against the Reds.
Yeah, and then I tried to target a reliever in both sides. That just happened to be Bednar, just because I didn't have a Bednar card. So I'm trying to get cards that I at least don't have.
Yeah.
And that I think can have some use round around. So I went Bednar and Mookie in rare, and then I did Tatis and Bednar, and then I have Strom and Sheehan in limited as well. But Tatis and Bednar are the ones who I played in limited.
Yeah, I was trying to think about it the same way too. Of like, let me just, I would like to buy some cards this round and then not have to do it again next round. And then I was also trying not to break the bank. So I think I ended up getting Machado, Story. I might have gotten like a Romy Gonzalez too, because I don't think I had Romy. Story was a duplicate for me, but did the same thing of like, do I think they could win around, and then do I have this one yet? But I'm kind of going back and forth, like looking at the prize pool here. I guess it depends how I round up today. If I will like continue to, I mean, I'm sure I'll continue to get a couple to just keep chasing it here. Excuse me.
This round probably is going to be the round that gets dropped too, unless you have a fantastic week, and then you have a cruddy week coming up.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 2.5 games for some of these guys.
That's true. Yeah.
So it may be the one, like, because we get 5 of 6 best scores
right
in the chase, and so this may be the one that ends up getting dropped for a lot of people.
Yeah, because I'll ask the question and hoping I don't embarrass myself, but we're 7-game series the rest of the way, right? Or
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm pretty sure we are.
I know the game week splits it on Sorare, but the actual series I believe is 7.
Oh, a jump shoot telling us too in the chat here. So the next game week is actually only 2 games.
Okay. So that one may be one that's dropped.
That one will definitely be. So if you were ever going to punt on one, that would be the one to punt on. I do think like starting pitching is going to be pretty interesting. Although now Hayes saying the next one is 5. Oh, 5-game series for the divisional round. Okay, my apologies.
They change the playoffs every year, it seems.
Dude, I'm going to be honest. I thought the wild card was like this round of the wild card was a 1-game playoff. Like, didn't they just do that like 2 years ago where it was a 1-game?
As a Rockies fan, I'm not too familiar with every single game. The last time we did that was 2018, and it was like that. So
okay, all right, maybe it was a while ago. Again, my Red Sox fandom fell off when they traded Mookie, and it took me a while to like work my way back in. But yeah, that does make an interesting wrinkle for like the next game week. But what I'm thinking too a little bit about is starting pitching and how, like, do you think because it seemed to be a popular move in this round was to use a starting pitcher in the flex. Do you think that's something you would continue to do here in the upcoming game weeks, or is that going to just be like a round by round thing?
Yeah, I think if we have those short game weeks, you almost have to do that. Just because, like, look at Judge. Like, if you have one person go like that, the odds of a pitcher getting 9 versus a hitter, it's just completely different. And so those cheat codes are a starting pitcher in the flex and the relief pitcher. I think it flips when you go to a longer series. You want more hitters and even potentially a reliever as a starter in that spot. But again, yeah, if the next game week is 2, you almost have to throw 2-3 pitches in there.
Yeah, almost treating it like it's the daily competition where you're doing it that way. Yeah, that's something I've been thinking about too, and just seeing like how many relievers are used. If I need to be a little bit more strategic with finding some new relief pitching, because I think I'm going to be relying a little too much on Chapman and Miller. I'm not even sure what other closers I have that are still. So I guess Hoffman, but I'm fascinated to see how Toronto's going to treat Hoffman in the postseason, because they really put the kid gloves on him down the stretch where he stumbled for a little bit, and then they still continued to use him, but it didn't seem to be like consistent. It was more of a matchup base, it felt like.
And the playoffs is all about trust, and I do not think he has that right now.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah, jump shoot. I see Borland in the chat too. Jump shoot. Yeah, just saw that it was. I had like Googled it while we were talking, where it was the 2021 season was the last time they did the 1 game wild card. I didn't realize they did that from like 2012 to 2020. I didn't think it was that long. I thought they only did it for a couple of years. But, all right. So yeah, I guess is there any sort of marketplace action you're looking at for this upcoming weekend? Like, is there anything you're monitoring, or is it just kind of like, hey, my bags have been packed for a while. If I need to scoop another one, I'll scoop another one, but I'm not too active in it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple guys that I've like had my eye on. If the Yankees lose, I got to grab another one.
Right.
So I'll probably swap there, but, not super active, again, just because like I tried to target guys that would go round to round. Like Mookie, I'm going to be using as long as they go. Like there's nobody that's going to replace him. So Mookie's going to be in my lineup.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably just grab a reliever here or there if I need to.
I'm pretty mad at myself for not getting Ohtani. Like back when I was deciding to spend all my money, and I was like, he was like the one big name that I kind of held off on. And just every at bat feels like he's going to do something pretty important. Where Judge, I mean, feels like how many postseasons in a row where I feel like he does not show up in a meaningful way in the postseason. I will say I was trying to think of the best way to phrase this last night, and I know he was hot down the stretch, so maybe this is a bad example, but Stanton has maybe the scariest swing with the least consistent result. But like even when he grounds out to short, he looks like a lumberjack, just like smashing. It's an insane. I don't know if it's because he's so tall or what it is. And I know Judge is also this big beefy guy, but Stanton's swing is violent.
I went to the home run derby in San Diego. Got to be close to 8 years ago now. And then the Western Supply Company in left field in San Diego.
Yeah.
I have never seen people get out of a way of a home run ball. He was hitting it so damn hard that it would bounce off and people were ducking. It's insane. He's got a violent swing.
Yeah, I think it was either 7th or 8th inning where he ended up grounding out to the shortstop. And I was like, God, it felt like if I was a shortstop, there you go ahead, dude. You can have it. Have the single, man. I'll let the left fielder go grab that. All right. Anything else for like this postseason? I guess anything else you wanted to touch on? Because there were 2 other things I wanted to kind of shoot the crap with you about, but I wanted to make sure if there was anything else postseason.
Who's your picks to win it? Like if you had to choose 2 teams, who would you go for?
Man, the energy around Seattle right now is pretty fun, and I think like, when we get to October, the pitching is what stands out the most. And I know Seattle's pitching on paper has looked really good, but in practice has been a little funky at times. But to have like Gilbert, Wu, and Kirby, and like when Castillo's your 4th guy, I just think that is such a luxury. And again, as a Red Sox fan, watching them being like, okay, well, we'll have Bayo tomorrow. I mean, today or yesterday. And then we're going to have this guy who's pitched 4 times this year in game 3. And even the Yankees, where it was like, Rodon is good. I'm not like a Rodon hater, but that's usually not who I picture as like a number 2 on a favorite of a team. Right. So I like that Seattle can do that. I think they have like fun home field advantage too. I just don't trust Toronto. Like I don't in the postseason. I don't. And I just saw Jump Shoot shared in the Discord that Bo Bichette's not going to be ready to go for the next round. So I wouldn't be surprised. And Toronto's got good pitching too, but nobody that I'm terrified of. Yeah. So I think I would take Seattle. And I don't know, man. The Dodgers just feel like a buzzsaw. Like I feel like Milwaukee is the Toronto of the National League, where it's another team I don't believe in.
Yeah. I think those are fair choices. My fandom wants Seattle. Every time I've been out to that ballpark, it's so much fun. The fans are incredible. So rooting for them. I think if I had to choose, I would go Phillies, just because.
Yeah.
They're a solid team too. They've all been there. I trust their bullpen and their pitching more than the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's fair. I wish they had Wheeler.
Yeah, that's a big one too. But even Sanchez is still an absolute ace. He's going to be in the Cy Young. Did they still do finalists for that? Like, where they pick the final 3? He's not going to win.
I think so. No. Is Trey Turner back too? I know he missed some time down the stretch with the tweaked hammy, but he's good to go.
Yeah, I think he played 1 or 2 games right before the playoffs started.
Yeah. I got to tell you, if it's not the Red Sox, I'm just rooting for my gallery. So I do have Harper, Schwarber, and Turner. So I'll go Phils. I got a lot of Mariners, so go M's. I don't have really any Dodgers outside of Mookie, so I hope they lose soon. But that's kind of where I'm at right now.
That is a really good pitch for Sorare in general. As a Rockies fan, it makes baseball so much more fun to root for my lineups than a 43-win team. So, yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah, you got it both ways. For your team to suck, at least you have the postseason, so you can pay attention there. But even when they were sucking, at least the teams that were coming into Colorado were hitting bombs, So you could be like, well, at least I can enjoy watching my team get smoked.
Yep.
Jump Shoot saying Roki is a relief pitcher now with an SP card. Could be nice if the Dodgers advance.
Yeah, that's a great shot, especially if they're going to use him like 9th inning, like they did last night.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see what if you guys have other names you want to throw around in the chat too, I'm happy to like poke around the instant buy list and see what's going on over there.
Here you go, Jump Shoot. Jump Shoot, do you know the story behind the Rockies mascot? Do you, Mike?
I don't.
So he is a Triceratops. When they were excavating the site for Coors Field, they found dinosaur bones.
Really?
And so they like hatched out a dinosaur one of their first years.
Wow, I didn't know. I guess that makes sense that there'd be dinosaurs everywhere, but did not know in Denver.
Yeah, that's how we got Dinger.
Wow, born from an egg, says Jump Shoot. Roki, that's not too expensive. I was curious how like expensive these cards were going to be, because I couldn't get a good feel for how many people were being very active with scooping these cards, because there did seem to be a little bit of a pushback of just like, I don't know if the rewards make sense for me to spend more money. That's kind of how I felt, where I was like, I don't really want to spend a ton more, but I'll spend enough to play. Yeah. I'm curious, do you know, like, I think you treat this more of as a fantasy game, and so maybe people in the chat can weigh in a little bit more, but obviously curious of your thoughts. If these special editions, and this is like across platforms, whether basketball, baseball, or soccer, if like people are treating this as a collectible versus a game piece, like, I don't know, does that scratch any itch for you as like a collectible for these special editions?
A little bit. I'm definitely fantasy first. Like, I'm not going to buy a card just because the design is cool. And like, if the design is cool and I want that player, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I can do it just for the design. I have seen some people, like there's some new people that have gotten in, I think specifically from that Tokyo series.
Yeah, those were cool.
Yeah. And so I definitely have a few of them just because I wanted that player and I think they are cool.
Yeah.
But I would say it's probably like an 80-20 split from how I'm looking at it.
Yeah. That's fair. I agree with you. Like, I don't think I'm like, oh, I need to have all of these, but I did think the Tokyo ones were pretty sick. I did like those. Yeah, and then they did one mid-season too. There were a couple cool ones that came out. I forget. I
They had
remember.
the Jersey Mints where they were kind of like flash behind them, and then
Yeah,
the All Star comp with like the stars, and then the hero cards. That
I think it was the hero one that I got, like a Lindor hero one.
yeah,
That was pretty cool. Jumpshoot saying there's been a big drop off with action on the auctions after the first lock. Yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, right? Like where you would see a lot of auctions before each lock, because they're probably not going to run a ton of auctions on teams that could potentially get eliminated.
they're
I would
still
think.
running Reds.
Are they still doing Reds right now?
They were this morning.
Interesting.
If you want a cheap Hunter Green card, he's out there.
He's out there. Let's see. What's Miles Boney? Who else
I
we got?
do think it's going to be curious. Like, I'm curious to see what people do as it progresses, because like once you get to the World Series, you have to have those two teams. So there's going to be some people that are still in the chase going after those cards just to
Hmm.
play, and then there's going to be other people like, I'm not that close to the chase at all. Probably going to punt that last one. So I'm curious to see how much activity there is on those like final teams as we go along.
Yeah, me too. I mean, especially like I guess it was a little bit different with the NBA in the playoffs because I don't think they required the playoff edition cards, right? It was just like you needed in-season cards, I think. But we can assume that it's going to be similar, I think, when we get to the NBA this year. But even like just interest in the postseason from a fantasy perspective wanes as you get longer, like as teams get eliminated, because then everybody's just playing the same 7 cards. So I think the most fun are these like first 2 rounds with it. And then I think if you have a couple successful rounds early, you're more invested later because you're like, wow, maybe I actually have a shot at something here.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's natural. Like if I were a Reds fan, my interest would be gone now. It's like I was invested in this one team and they're done. As a fan of the
yeah,
Rockies, who I kind of enjoy the playoffs, it's a lot different. I enjoy the as it progresses, but a lot of teams, like once your team's out, it's like I don't want to follow
you're
this. It's
right. And
depressing.
I actually remember using, I think Borland as an example for last year's NBA. Like it is kind of fun where if your team does make a run like this, like when the Timberwolves go to the conference finals the last couple of years, to have like you're like, oh, I'm already a fan of them, and I already have this gallery because I'm like naturally, and like for you as a Nuggets fan too. Like if you and they're going on a run, you're like, well, yeah, I'm gonna keep playing because my gallery is being rewarded. My team is being rewarded here, so I'm going to keep going. So that
I
does
think
make it a
I
little
think
bit
the
more fun.
first ever rare NBA card I won was from the Nuggets playoff run.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool. For what I did it in baseball, which is kind of interesting because I feel like maybe it's because I feel like I'm better versed in basketball. So I was like really attacking specific like fantasy type plays. Where in baseball, I mean, 80% of my like buys in April were just Red Sox. Like I was just like, whatever, dude. I'm running out of Red Sox stack every single game week. And now it's like my collection's evolved a little bit, but still most of it. And yeah, Jump Shoot saying the Heat 8 seed was a fun run to the finals. And yeah, Borland took home an SGA card from the finals game winner.
That Heat 8 seed was fun for us too because we beat them in the finals.
That's right. Shout out Miami for ruining my year. Because they beat the Celtics. Borland also I want to come back to this point, was like sitting out the playoff comps besides the daily didn't seem worth it just for the short-term value. Yeah, I wonder. Again, I think it's probably gallery specific, where if you felt like you could compete, maybe you pick up 1 or 2 and throw them in there. But I do like that the daily thing still exists too. Like even though the prize pool for that has been nuked for the postseason, I still like that you're like, well, at least I'm gonna. Do I have any eligible cards who are pitching today? Okay, I will make my lineup. That is how I have treated the daily.
Yeah.
I do. I was curious of your thoughts on the single entry nature of the contest. Do you like that, or does you like? I know you're someone that has a beefier gallery, so does that bum you out a little bit, or do you like it?
I'm kind of 50-50, especially because like setting the lineups can become a chore. And so the ability just to kind of set one and watch it go, it's easier to follow. Like I know
Hmm.
exactly who I'm rooting for. I appreciate that aspect of it. I definitely wish I could have had more cards to use and had more opportunities because I think both of my rare champ wins this year were my second lineup. And so
Yeah,
clearly I'm not perfect at doing this. It would have been nice to have those extra opportunities, but I don't hate it.
yeah. I I like went back and forth where I think I ultimately really, really like it. But as I was setting the lineup, I was frustrated because I was like, I just in my head was like, I'm setting 3 lineups, so let's just start clicking some buttons and see what things look like. And then when I submitted it and I was like looking to add team, and I'm like, oh shit, this is it. All right, I got to go back to this. What I do kind of like about it though is it evens the playing field a little bit. I always think of like not to name a competitor, but like DraftKings or something, right? And you enter these contests and you're going against, a guy with a bankroll that's crazy. So he's like, I'm entering 150 lineups into this thing, right? Where in this, it really does, it's like the equalizer where it's like we all have one shot at making a lineup for this round, which made it, I kind of enjoyed that. Especially with the 3-game series, it was just there was just a lot of math going into it of being like, do we think these teams are going to play multiple or like 3 games, and all of that was a lot of fun. So I did enjoy it. Jumpshoot was saying he preferred the multi lineups with no chase, but they promised this postseason chase after killing the monthly chase from last season. I forgot you guys did monthly chases last season.
Yeah, that's where there was like some huge prize pools and people got to go to the All-Star game.
That's right.
There's some big ones.
That's right. So I guess like and if the chat has more playoff stuff, or Taylor, if you have more playoff stuff, feel free to throw it at me. But I'll start transitioning. What do you feel about
the chase?
I go back and forth. I like for the playoffs. I like a chase style thing. I think that is fun. I kind of go back and forth, and I've talked to them both publicly. I think on the stream that we did for something recently, and also privately. I think the playoffs are really hard to get right. And I think that's across multiple platforms, like not just Sorare. I think, like we said, the excitement around the first round when the playoffs are finally starting, it's like, oh, here we go. But then it's kind of a marathon, and you get to like the 3rd round of whatever. It's like, okay, so now we're down to a couple teams. Now I have to buy more, I guess, in order to do it. And it becomes exhausting unless you've had a good couple of weeks to lead up to it. I think the prize pool is a little underwhelming. So I'll say that, but I've really liked so far anyways, this first round. It's been really fun just doing the single entry lineup. So I've kind of enjoyed it. I don't know, where do you land on the chase style?
I didn't love the chases last year. Just because of the stress level of week to week, it's like, okay, I had a very good week and now I have to do so much research to make sure that I continue that next week. And I really love the just reset every single week from a kind of general Sorare perspective. I do think it works a little bit better in the playoffs. And like the prizes for this playoffs, that's kind of where you're going to tackle. Like you kind of have to go for that because again, the daily's a little underwhelming.
Right.
But, I like it for playoffs, but I don't know that I love it for any other aspect. I know there's some people who love the chases. I think if they didn't have the prizes along with it last year, they probably wouldn't have been as exciting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The rewards at the end of the day that people get excited about. So.
Yeah, I can only really speak to the NBA with the chases because those are the ones that I participated in last season, and I really do like what they do with the in-season tournament. Like I think when it's around something specific, where it's like clear what the guidelines for it would be, I really like that. Where it's like, oh, we know that they play every Tuesday and Friday for the next 3 weeks, so that's just going to be a separate thing we do on top of the other stuff we do. I really like that. Yeah. But you're right, man. The prize pool is where it's at. Like if they put sick prizes to it, people are going to be like, this is awesome. And if it's the normal prize pool, they're going to be like, why did you make it harder to do? So that makes sense. That was a good transition though. Because what I was going to ask you is like, what were some of the things, like, because you've been doing Sorare MLB from the beginning, what were some of the things from this past season that you think that you like really have enjoyed with Sorare, or things that you think they got right?
So I actually like a lot of the changes they made this year. The energy, more than anything, I think gives you so much flexibility. Just because, like, when you I'm gonna buy in-season cards probably every year. So like having a 2-card requirement or whatever it may be is fine, but the ability to save energy and kind of plan for certain weeks and say, hey, I want to go all in this week with some of my old bigger cards. I can do that. So I really, really like the energy aspect this year. Essence, I enjoyed the one spot. I know in NBA it's a little bit frustrating when you get up to the very top and save and you don't get what you want.
Yeah.
So I really liked the one crafting level, and I had some success there. So I didn't hate that at all. I don't know. I really liked the aspects that they put into the gameplay this year. Like, I really didn't have any concerns there. I think they missed the boat on execution here and there.
Especially early in the season.
Exactly. Yep. Some of the energy issues that they had with the vampires and all that, which can kind of go deep on. But the actual aspects that they're including in this game, I really enjoyed.
Yeah, you can tell people really like the energy because people are pissed that it's not an NBA. Like, that's the one complaint that I've seen over and over again. And I understand a little bit of the difference because you can just use one card in every time. So like you can use one, like 4 in season, one classic that you can use. So like, I get why they're not doing it, but I agree with you. I thought the energy was such a fun wrinkle. And the essence, like one of the biggest frustrations with the NBA essence is it felt like it took forever to get up to crafting level. And then, like you said, the crafting level was just all over the place. So like if you saved up and you're like, well, I got a better chance now, and then you still get screwed, it hurt more. Where this is, like you said, level playing field, you're just kind of ripping it every single time, see what happens. Like, you're going to get a lot of players that are useless, but occasionally you get a nice little hit and it's fun. But again, like the saving up for, what was it, like 5K or something? I forget what the number was back then, but like it hurt bad. So when you missed,
like that's not what they wanted. That went viral in the worst way.
Right. I think it was George, right? Didn't George save up, like, it was like super rare essence maybe, and then he just got something real bad. Yeah. But yeah, I'm with you. I've again, as like, this is my first. Like, I always do fantasy baseball, but usually on the underdog side of stuff. This is my first time, like, really diving into Sorare MLB, and I just thought it was pretty easy to follow along. And you could get as nerdy with it as you wanted to, but you didn't have to go crazy with it if you didn't want to. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it. So I did. I agree with you. I thought they crushed some of the gameplay. Let me get to some of the chat here. Boylan said I would love it for the playoff comp. Somehow won you an in-season card for next year. That's kind of fun. I kind of like that. I mean, I guess that's why the essence part is really exciting. Like when you win essence, because you can hold on to that and then craft when the year starts. Because that is something, I mean, that is like a little bit of a complaint I have, where it's like, holy crap, you did so well in one of the hardest parts of the NBA season or MLB season. Congrats, you won a card that now is not as valuable as it is because the season's over. So that is a fun idea.
Are you saving up essence?
Yeah, I am. I've got I ripped one because I was getting a little too high, or maybe I ripped 2. I can't remember. I got my Jakob Unis. But yeah, we got like 5K in limited here, and in common I haven't really used. I should use the common, but yeah, I'm saving. What are you doing with essence?
Same. Yeah, I'm trying to have as much as I can going into next year. I think I'm over 6,000 in each, so like I'm gonna have to rip probably after this game week, honestly.
Yeah.
If I can get a postseason card, that's another win. But
cool, right?
Yeah, I'm not mad at having to do that, but I'm definitely going to try and save into next year.
Yeah.
And I know I've talked to Hey Eagle a few times. He's even saying like maybe they do a 365-day in-season card to combat that. I don't know how effective that would be, but that'd be another little wrinkle they could throw in. Like you buy it or you win it today, and maybe it's just even rewards too.
Yeah.
Today, and then it's in season for a year from that point.
Oh, that's interesting. Like it gets a special, and like only if you win, not if you buy it off. That's an interesting take. I like that. That's pretty good. JT Chels too is saying, I hope they change crafting to what they're doing in football, and it seems like an NBA. It does seem like it is going in that direction, where like the clues and stuff like that, I imagine that comes over as well. And yeah, you can't craft until after week 1 in the NBA this season. I saw lots of people like, it felt like people were complaining about that a little bit, but that makes sense to me, that you're not like, the season's got to start and people haven't had the opportunity to win some essence. I mean, I know you're saving it, but like you just rip it after week 1. I think that's fine.
That's going to make week 1 probably the easiest week to win something too.
I mean,
you're going to have to buy into it, and especially with NBA where you're going to have to target some of those lower caps. But
yeah, I'll be curious to see what the prices look like again. Because did you find, I didn't follow along with auctions as much in MLB as I did in NBA last year. Did the price, because I know obviously it's going to be higher at the beginning of the season, but did it like just gradually dip, or was there a sustained period up top? Because I remember in NBA, it actually like through like the first couple weeks, it actually, instead of coming down a little bit, went up, which I was surprised by, and then gradually came down. Was it something similar in MLB? If you were, I
Yeah,
don't know how active you
I think
were.
they were tied to the promos that they did. So like
Oh,
they
right.
had a couple like you do this, you get some essence. And
Yeah.
that definitely inflated.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I think I crafted like 5 or 6 cards before the season even started, which was great.
Yeah.
But I think what caused the prices to really drop in MLB was the number of mints they did.
Yeah.
I think it was some like even triple for some cards that they've done in previous years.
Right.
Which, if they're going to do that, that's fine. But I think people had expectations that it would match previous years, and so that's where it started to fall off a little bit.
Right. No, that makes sense. Looks like the Guardians guard ball tied it up. It's 1-1 here in the fifth. Let me see. Excuse me. How did they get that scoring play? Jose Ramirez with a single after Valera doubled. That's fun. That's fun. I don't think I have like a strong rooting interest in this series, but the Guardians are just fun to root for, I think.
My in-laws are from Cleveland, so they're big Cleveland fans, and then one of my really good friends is a big Tigers fan, so I'm caught in the middle.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, not everybody has the best relationship with their in-laws, so that's good to know that you do have a healthy relationship with your in-laws, that you're rooting for their happiness. I guess like pivoting towards a little bit of the off season, do you have like I kind of have goldfish brain with it, where like when it's over, I don't think about it until it comes back again. Is that how you are with this as well, or like I don't know? I guess like coming into this season, did you have like off season moves that you made, or are you kind of like I'll be back in a couple months?
Yes and no. I definitely take a reset from it. I think where I try to do that is if I'm going up a scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to target a few super rare guys. Um, I may do that this year. Um, I think I bought like my first rare Shohei at the end last year.
Okay.
That was a little wedding present to myself that I did. But
Congrats.
yeah, thanks. So like there's little things like I have guys, and then going into this season, maybe like a month or so before when spring training starts to kick off, I'll actually make a spreadsheet of like here's kind of the guys that I want to target. Every year I go into it with teams. So
Yeah.
this year for rare I tried to target the Padres and Reds because I knew I wanted Ellie and I knew I wanted Tatis.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to fill those collections to get those scores of those guys high. And so I'll just kind of map out based off of, all right, who's the main guys that I want to get, and then build the teams off of that.
How have you found the difference in competition between scarcities?
Rare is significantly easier to win, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There's less people. There's especially baseball where a random guy can hit 3 home runs in a game, and somebody who has a smaller gallery just kind of threw him in a lineup. It's a lot easier for them to do that in limited than rare.
Yeah.
And so you get less, I think, variability on those higher scarcity levels.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because I mean that used to be my take with NBA. And then I think the NBA got a little bit sharper and rare, but I do think there is something to be said about that because when you're like how many people were in the limited contest every week, like a couple thousand, I think. So like to then go down to rare where there's probably like 500 maybe that you're competing against.
Let's see. I actually track every single competition I ever enter. So
Wow.
I got a lot of stats. I actually tweet out all my stats. Like I'm pretty transparent about all of my MLB.
Yeah.
But the final limited champion had 2,200 entrants.
Okay.
The final rare had 575.
All right. So I kind of crushed that.
Yeah.
Just off the top, just in case anyone was.
You don't have to track anything. You just know.
I just know. Yeah, and you're right. And I like what did you? I guess like how big is the bankroll difference for like trying to compete in rare versus trying to compete in limited?
So if you're gonna go for the studs, that's where it kind of gets up there.
Right.
You can get rare everyday players in MLB for under $10.
Right, but it's just the big names where the MVPs, if you will. That's like what you're spending your money on.
That's where you'll see like the 5, even 10x on some guys if they're getting hot or big names. But for the most part, like I only got into rare because I won a limited comp, and they gave you a like rare prize on top of it, and so like I started to build from there. And I had a tiny gallery, won a rare all-star with like Miles Mikolas as my starting pitcher.
Wow.
And I won a Trout, and from there I just kind of jumped off from it.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. Like that's how I hope they create more opportunities for this to like what's like the bridge tournaments almost to where it's like a little bit of limited, a little bit of rare, and
Yeah,
that's how say that again.
I'm a big fan of those. Like that's because I enjoy progressing. I want to try and win.
Right.
Even the end of the season, I didn't really focus on super rare much this year. And then I started to get more rare cards, and I had a couple left over from previous years. So I bought a couple cheaper super rares and like played it in the super rare all-star competition. That became almost a priority for me, so I could try and get some super rare essence before the season ended.
Right.
I enjoy that progression.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, So Rare wants people to do that too. Like that's in their best interest to have people move on up. Yeah, it's something I'm going to be thinking about with this NBA season. Because I'm very interested in like trying to get into the super rare streets, but now that is combined with unique, it makes it a little bit trickier for my poor ass to make that happen. So it might just be rare. And yeah, saying unique and super rare. Like, yeah, I mean, they just did it for the NBA. I imagine that comes to MLB as well. But I do like, I've been so used to the NBA stuff of like the contender versus the champion. And I do just kind of like the straight format in MLB where it's like whatever like, yes, there are different requirements. But the no cap has been, I mean, I know it's a different game and that's why, but I did really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I did, excuse me. Battling this cough still. I don't know. I guess that was kind of it. Is there anything else like on your I don't know, end of year roundup this year and So Rare for Talor that you wanted to touch on?
I don't think so. I mean, just see how these playoffs go. I'm hoping I get to watch it actually because looks like somebody just hit a home run.
Oh, did we? All right, what do we got here?
Hit a home run.
Who did? The Tigers did?
Yeah. Dylan Dingler.
Oh, Dylan Dingler. That's a great name. And probably did not impact the leaderboard whatsoever. I guess one pro of the Tigers advancing is I get to throw Scooble again. That part's exciting. That's why I want the Red Sox too. Like just throwing Scooble and Crochet. That Crochet performance was awesome. That man, just a dog. And shout out Aaron Boone for taking out Max Fried, idiot. And you're like, let him finish the inning. What are you doing?
That's playoff baseball. As managers overmanage, you give short leashes. You think one guy is going to make one mistake and going to cost you the season, so they pull them. But yeah, Crochet, Scooble, even Yamamoto.
Yamamoto's been on a heater lately.
Postseason pitching performances this year already.
Yeah. I mean, if Boone could have just polled Red Sox fans, being like, "Do you want to see Max in or out?" We all would have been like, "Yeah, dude, get him out of the game, man. We don't want to go up against Max. He was dominating us,
especially with how their bullpen's been."
Yeah. Jump shoot saying, I keep forgetting that this exists too. The Crochet, that he gets relieving eligibility too.
Well, and it's going to be again the opposite is going to be Mason Miller. If they make it far and they have a long game week, his starting pitcher card is going to be incredibly valuable.
Wow, I didn't even know. See, this is what I need to. All right, depending on how I finish this today, if like Tatis and Manny both hit bombs here this afternoon, Chapman gets another save, and Story does something, we might be hitting the marketplace.
Yeah,
we might be hitting the marketplace.
There's some cheat codes out there.
Yeah. Well, Talor, dude, thanks for doing this. I think for the postseason, we'll probably keep these right around an hour instead of doing the 2-hour format, just because there's not too much to dive into. But we'll keep doing it for the next couple of weeks. We'll have to get some more guests on. I see Borland in the chat. We'll get Borland on here. Borland, you want to come talk some postseason? We can talk Twins off season. Did you guys cleaned house, Colorado?
Yeah, so we are going to apparently hire our first external GM since 1999.
Wow.
Just insane.
Wow. That is it going to be a splashy one, or did you guys like hire a like a headhunter?
Honestly, I don't expect too flashy. As long as they give the new guy some sort of authority to kind of make some changes, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to be signing any more Chris Bryants and just kind of throwing money in terrible places.
Did he get hurt What happened to Chris Bryant?
He has probably a career-ending back injury.
Oh.
But he like attempts every year to like play 10 games and then it hurts again, and so he tries all these different fixes and they never work.
Man, that's too bad. He was fun. That Cubs team, those Cubs guys were fun.
Yeah, I was excited about it, and he's played I think 170 games over 4 years.
Wow. And not good. Like I don't remember any like big Chris Bryant games in Colorado.
It took like 30 or 40 games for him to hit his first home run.
Oh, and you're in a cheat code stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
We're happy. Things are at least going in the right direction in Denver.
That's good. That's good. Can only go up from there. I don't know if you can have another year of pitching like you had this year. It's truly incredible.
Yeah, and we had injuries to start. Like Doyle had some pretty terrible things happen personally. Tovar was for a good stretch. Like our big players were just hurt, and Tolia was terrible.
Yeah,
so, like, we could have some progress. So we'll see.
Yeah. Doyle is fun too. Like I was glad that he kind of woke up the last month of the season. I think he was starting to hit the ball a little bit better. But yeah, you're right, because I do own a lot of Rockies, and they were I was constantly sealing them because they were on the IR. So, man. Well, Talor, dude, thanks for coming on. I appreciate just like your tweets throughout the year too, of just being like, here's what I did this week, here's how I did. It's like fun seeing people track it. Just again, especially for someone who is doing it for the first time, to kind of just shows other people how they can also just document how they're doing. So that way, when you get to the end of the year, because it is a long season, you can kind of like review what you did and what maybe you need to do next year. So appreciate you doing all that.
Yeah, I'll probably at the end of the season, like throw, here's everything I've won. Here's all the crafts that I've done. Like,
yeah,
I track everything. So I'm sure I'll do like some wrap up post at the end of the year.
Yeah, I do. I think that stuff's helpful for like, obviously you sharing it, but just as a player, I do think it is a good reminder, especially if you're on a downswing, to be like, okay, well, here's what I was able to turn all my essence in, all that's into. Here's the money I won compared to what I spent at the beginning of the year. I think all that stuff's pretty helpful.
Yeah, all my big wins were early, and so like I had a down stretch, and then I added actually like my average winnings per game week. And at that point, I was still winning. Like if you average it, it's still $100 per game week. I was like, okay, I'm still doing fine. Like
that's still great. That's still great.
Yeah.
I just shared your Twitter into the chat, so go ahead, follow Talor along. We'll be back on again this time next week on October 9th. We'll be back, and then I believe the 13th, I think, is the first day of like the East. I can't remember if it's East or West. Whatever the first day of auction that's not rookies on the NBA side, we'll have an NBA show as well. So if it's your first time hanging out here, thanks for doing it. Make sure you hit the subscribe for the So Rare Bros. Come follow us over at the NBA Bit and Elite Fantasy Hoops. For Talor, myself, go